Yesterday, we told you about how the US and Iran are weaponizing the nuclear negotiations. Today, this was on full display. Three things happened in the last 24 hours. Iran warned if talks fail and a conflict arises, it will target US military bases across the Middle East. Soon we received reports of Washington pulling out troops from the region. And then came the big IAEA confirmation. Iran is not meeting its nuclear obligations for the first time in 20 long years. So is this war posturing or warmongering? What bases are Iran threatening to target? And why is Israel pointing its missiles towards Iran? I'm Ananya Dutta and this is Grey Zone. Since April, Iran and the United States have held 5 rounds of Omani-mediated indirect talks, 3 in Muscat and 2 in Rome. The talks have focused on Iran's nuclear program and the possible lifting of US sanctions. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says an agreement with the US is within reach. So far, both sides have been awfully coy about the talks, but the response has been more or less positive. This week, the tone slightly changed as both sides have been stuck at a fundamental disagreement. The United States is demanding that Iran completely cease uranium enrichment, something that has been firmly rejected by Iran. A 6th round of indirect talks are slated for this Sunday, but as diplomacy waits, war drums are being beaten from Washington, Tehran to Tel Aviv. The first was heard from Washington. 2 US officials told the Associated Press that the State Department was preparing to order the departure of all non-essential personnel from the US Embassy in Baghdad due to the potential for regional unrest. Washington has also authorized the departure of non-essential personnel and family members from Bahrain and Kuwait, giving them an option on whether to leave the country. Soon after, US President Donald Trump confirmed reports of pulling out some American boots from the Middle East.
Could you provide an update on Iran? We're hearing reports that US personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being, we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
The US President said it could be a dangerous place. Speculations then were rife. Everyone had one question: where are the nuclear talks heading? These are some precarious times. US and Iran have both threatened a conflict if the talks fail. Tehran has time and again said that if a conflict arises, Iranian forces will target American troops in the Middle East. Let's pull a map of the region to understand this better. This is the Middle East, and here is where Iran sits. It has Central and South Asia to its left and the Middle East to its right. Its vastness and proxies in Syria, Iraq, Gaza, Lebanon, and Yemen makes it almost like an octopus, and it is using this very leverage to threaten the American troops in the region. The United States maintains a considerable military presence in the Middle East. As of October 2024, according to the Council of Foreign Affairs, there were some 40,000 service members in the region. In total, the US has military facilities across at least 19 sites, including Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and the United Arab Emirates. The US military also uses large bases in Djibouti and Turkey, which are part of other regional commands. The Middle East is a complex region with crucial water bodies like the Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Arabian Sea, and the Caspian Sea. And this has prompted the US to station a strong fleet and Navy personnel in the region. While under Trump, many warships have been returned to the US, major ships like USS Harry S. Truman and USS Carl Vinson are still present.
But with Iran, if it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody leads us. We do what we want to do.
Now, this is a good time to bring in Israel in the picture. The country has been fighting Iranian proxies for decades. Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Houthis in Yemen. Experts are warning that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's strong intention to wage a war against Iran has been growing. The difference was that experts like Jeffrey Sachs had said that Israel will push the US to do so.
Netanyahu wants to have a war with Iran. More specifically, Netanyahu wants the United States to have a war with Iran. This could be devastating. Everybody should understand Iran is a powerful country. It's got formidable armaments, and it has a security agreement with Russia. To go to war with Iran is to play with fire. It's to play with the risk of global war.
But it seems like there is a change in plans. NBC News has just reported that Israel is considering taking military action against Iran, most likely without the US's support, in the coming days. A unilateral strike or action by Israel against Iran would be a dramatic break with the Trump administration, which, remember, has categorically argued against such a step. So what began as indirect talks over uranium enrichment is now spiraling into direct threats of military escalation. The table is set, still in Oman, but chairs are being pulled out across the region, from Baghdad to Tel Aviv. Iran is signaling that it won't be cornered. The US is signaling that it's willing to walk away, and Israel is now, for the first time, threatening to move ahead alone. In the name of diplomacy, we are watching a three-way standoff where every actor is armed, every word is loaded, and every move could tip the balance. The question is no longer will diplomacy succeed, but how long before it fails. I'm Ananya Dutta, and this is Grey Zone.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.